Hi ladies, this is going to be my bed sharing video. I'm hoping that my camera on my laptop doesn't act completely crazy. I'm going to try not to move my body too much because it wants to zoom in on like whatever's moving or something. I don't know. So anyhow, I wanted to tell you guys about like our full story, why we bed share with Isaac, and a little history on my kids. Like, I have a 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and my 11-year-old, as soon as she got home from the hospital, she went straight to sleeping in her bassinet. We never had any problems with like her sleeping with us in the bed or like wanting to be with us in the bed. Um, and she went straight to her crib after about 3 months of sleeping in the bassinet. For my son, he is now 8 years old. He did not like his bassinet at all. Did not want to sleep by himself as soon as we would get him to sleep. And then place him in his own bed, he would wake up screaming and crying. So we got tired of him not wanting to sleep by himself, and us being so sleepy and tired, we just would bring him to the bed with us. And so we did bed share with my son as well. So with Isaac, I had the full intention of just co-sleeping him, having him in his own pack and play in our bedroom next to my bed. That was the plan. But when we were at the hospital, about the second day, he continued to gag on, mucus or whatever they said, that the babies have in their lungs still after they're born. And the gagging really scared me. He would like even turn purple and like his face would get like white. So I was really concerned about him, and the pediatrician just said, it'll wear off, and so at the hospital, when he continued to do this while my husband was sleeping, it just like really freaked me out. I couldn't sleep, knowing that I couldn't really hear him. He would just move around, but I couldn't hear him. So at the hospital, I put him in the bed with me, and that was the only time I got to sleep. And it felt so darn amazing to have him in the bed with me. I didn't feel all the worries that I had, like falling asleep and thinking like they're gonna come in here and take him away, or it's just something crazy. So when we got home, I just couldn't put him in the pack and play. I was having a lot of anxiety as well. It could be from our previous losses. I was like really worried about him. Like worried about SIDS, and like what if I don't hear him gagging or feel him, or just even if he was breathing, I would like have to check and then check again and like check again, like constantly checking. And like sometimes I would even cry just with worriedness even though he was okay and fine. And I just think maybe it was because of our losses. We had two early miscarriages and a 20-week loss as well. So, I guess I just had a lot of thoughts and like, oh my God, I finally have my baby, but I was still very worried. So I had to fight that off by myself, and now I'm doing like great. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I'm still like protected over him, but I'm feeling a lot better in not thinking and worrying the way that I was when he came home. So that sort of played a huge role of me bed sharing with him. And what we do just to keep him safe in the bed is at first we just used to have him swaddled. I mean, he was a newborn, so swaddling him, he liked it as long as his arms weren't like in the swaddle, because he didn't like that. So his arms would be out, and he would, they don't really move a lot when they're that little. And my husband worked night shift, so me and Isaac, we pretty much had the whole bed to ourselves. And then my husband would get off of work and sleep, on the couch. I'm sorry, I just ate dinner. And so, we just always had the bed to ourselves. But recently my husband has started a new job like a month ago. And now he works like day shift, so he sleeps with us at night. And now that Isaac is older, I'm okay with having Isaac in the middle sometimes, just depending on what side I'm gonna breastfeed him on. I kind of like go back and forth, between the night. He wakes up a lot less now that he's breastfeeding than when I was having to wake up and like make a bottle and pump and all that. So I was kicking the laptop. So yeah, he sleeps a lot more better. So I'm just getting up at night and going back and forth from each side. And my husband gets like this tiny little space on the bed, and we have a queen bed, so it's not even a king. He gets like the tiniest little space. And my husband and I share a pillow. So usually I'm like on that side the majority of the night, and by the time my husband wakes up to go to work, like at 4 in the morning, I get the pillow and I just put I get like the tiniest corner of the pillow, and then the rest of the pillow hangs off the bed. So Isaac is still like not around the pillow. Also, I think when he was about 3 months, what I did, because he started to move around a little more and wiggle around and he didn't want to be swaddled anymore, I would just get his flannel blankets, like the receiving blankets, and just tuck it on the side of him, on each side, like a little, almost like a belt, but like with the blanket. I would just tuck him in and tuck him in on each side. So that would work really well for us. And he would also like to lean into the bed and put his face in the bed. So that sometimes scared me, but I always felt him. I would get close to him enough to where I can feel him. And also when we just started bed sharing, when he came home from the hospital, he actually had a really big space on the bed for just him and I. And I would just put his feet against my stomach and lay him like this was me, and then his legs were in my stomach. So we were laying. I'm trying not to move the laptop too much because it acts stupid. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can picture that. I'm laying straight across, and then his feet are into my stomach, and he's laying straight that way. So that's what we done, and that's what we're still doing. Hopefully Isaac won't have too bad of a issue getting into his own, transferring to his bed. I sure hope not. My son slept with us till he was about 9 or 10 months, and then we put him in his own bed without a problem. So just thinking, hoping Isaac will be the same. Now, sometimes I do miss, just cuddling up with my husband, and it just being him and I on the bed, but honestly, I would kick my husband out of the bed for Isaac any day, so, yeah, so it's fine. We're okay for now, and, my husband also takes naps with Isaac as well, but I check on him a lot, and we have our video camera monitor thingy in the room, so I can watch Isaac, and it beeps and moves if one of them, it vibrates if one of them moves, so I can take a peek at it to make sure that my husband is sleeping correctly. I didn't like my husband sleeping with Isaac when I was going through my craziness phase. Well, not craziness, but just the very worried anxiety phase. I didn't want my husband sleeping with Isaac. And on top of that, my husband was very tired because he was working night shift, 12-hour night, so I didn't want him sleeping with Isaac. But now that my husband gets enough sleep, he is a lighter sleeper now than he was before. And Isaac is also older, so it's enjoyable. I love it. I love bed sharing. So, and I'm sorry, I say so a lot, but it's almost like but it's so. And I love bed sharing with Isaac, and this is, and I didn't do any research on bed sharing until I actually needed to calm myself down, because a lot of people, my neighbor, mostly one of them, who told me, no, don't sleep the baby in the bed with you, and she kind of freaked me out about sleeping him in the bed with me, but I always felt so safe sleeping him in the bed with me, and not safe sleeping him in anywhere else. Not, not even in his swing. I didn't feel safe sleeping him in, and so yeah, I don't know, you guys. Everybody has a different take on co-sleeping and bed sharing. I'm just doing what works for Isaac and I, because every kid's different, every parent's different, and sometimes you feel safe doing one thing but not another, and it's always changing. So when I get ready to sleep him in his own bed, that means that I'm ready, and hopefully he'll be ready as well. But that's it, you guys. So if you want to comment, that's fine. Just don't leave any ugly comments, because I don't care anyway. So talk to y'all guys soon. Bye.